Sue Gray has delivered 12 pages of findings on the lockdown parties here in Downing Street. And earlier, Boris Johnson's predecessor, Theresa May, had a question for him.
Either my right honourable friend had not read the rules, or didn't understand what they meant, and others around him, or they didn't think the rules applied to number 10. Which was it?
To which Boris Johnson replied,
"That is not what the Gray report says. It is not what the Gray report says. But if I suggest that she waits to see the conclusion of the inquiry."
Now, Sue Gray hasn't said whether individual events broke the rules, and it's true, we will hear more from the police and from Sue Gray. But Boris Johnson also said this.
Sorry. And I'm sorry for the things we simply didn't get right, and also sorry for the way that this matter has been handled.
But for the Labour Party, sorry isn't enough.
The British public aren't fools. They never believed a word of it. They think the Prime Minister should do the decent thing and resign.
All of this is reaction to something Sue Gray says is not a meaningful report. She says she's looked at 16 events, but that 12 are under criminal investigation, and so on these, she cannot release her findings. This, though, was confirmation of criminal investigations into gatherings in the Prime Minister's garden, in his offices, for his birthday, and even in his flat. And remember, this is what Boris Johnson said after the first reports of a party.
All guidance was followed completely during number 10.
All guidance was followed, said Boris Johnson. Well, Sue Gray concludes that at least some of the gatherings represent a serious failure to observe the high standards expected of those working at the heart of government. She goes on, a number of these gatherings should not have been allowed to take place or to develop in the way that they did. Now, one defence we've heard for what happened is this.
A lot of these people at that time were working 18-hour days to deliver, actually, one of the best, if not the best, vaccine programme in the world. They were exhausted.
To this, Sue Gray says those challenges also applied to key and frontline workers across the country who are working under equally, if not more, demanding conditions. And Boris Johnson picked up on this.
It's no use saying that this or that was within the rules, and it's no use saying that people were working hard.
Given that, given everything they've heard, Conservative MPs now have a decision to make, and Keir Starmer addressed them.
They can heap their reputations, the reputation of their party, the reputation of this country on the bonfire that is his leadership. Or they can spare the country from a Prime Minister totally unworthy of his responsibilities.
Keir Starmer presented a choice, but Mr Johnson's supporters reject it.
The Prime Minister's come to the dispatch box today. He's given his apology. He's now left the report to the Met, and we'll wait to see what their findings are.
There is, though, a fine line being walked by Mr Johnson. In December, he told the Liverpool Echo no COVID rules were broken, and there you go. Today, when pushed, he said this.
I do care deeply about the hurt that is felt across the country about the suggestion that things were going on in number 10 that were in contravention of the COVID rules.
The Prime Minister talks of the suggestion rules were broken, but without explaining, given what we know about the events, how it's possible the rules weren't broken. And he says we must wait for the police. And sure enough, the Met's work goes on. Today, we heard from Commander Catherine Roper, who revealed we had a bundle of material provided to us just Friday, which is well over 500 pieces of paper and over 300 photographs. And in the middle of this tumultuous day, the Prime Minister turned directly to what Sue Gray says happened here in Downing Street and declared,
I get it, and I will fix it.
The question is whether Boris Johnson will get the chance, because for him, this is about learning lessons, making changes. For his opponents, it's about him too, all of which distilled into one moment in a packed House of Commons.
I know what the issue is.
On this, on so many aspects of this story, there is no agreement, nor is there an end, because the Prime Minister and his rivals now wait for the police to show their hand.